And if you are internally blind, forget it. You cannot understand the world in Akhiru Zaman. Nabi Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam was passing by and his companions were sitting talking, and he asked, what are you talking about? And they said, we're talking about alamatu sa'a, the signs of the last day. And then he made this statement that the last day would not come, and then he mentioned 10. And these have come to be known as the 10 major signs of the last day. If I had to choose 10 of my own, I would include this one, because I think this one is one of the major signs of the last day. The time will move faster and faster, and the whole year will pass, and it would appear to have been just a month. And the whole month will pass, it will appear to have been just a week, and so on. And anywhere I go, I'm not going to ask you, don't be afraid. Anywhere I go, I ask the people, if you have this perception that time is moving faster, put your hands up. Everybody put their hands up, every single. 2 nights ago in Newport, everybody put their hands up, and the Imam did not have it. I said, MashaAllah, the Imam is not, his hand is not up, but then he put his hand up to it. So I said, this is a sign of danger. It's not time which is moving faster. No. Time in our world is governed by the moon. Allah says, لِتَعْلَمُوا عَدَدَ السِّنِينَ وَالْحِسَابِ. That He's given us the moon for measuring time, the system of time. And the moon has been punctual for thousands and thousands of years. Absolute punctuality, like the train in Switzerland. Yeah. So it's not time that is moving faster. No. In Akhiru Zaman, it is our perception of time which is changing. And the reason why our perception of time is changing is because our heart is no longer beating in harmony with the rest of Allah's creation. All of Allah's creation operates with a system of time. And in that system of time there's a mizan, there's a balance. So it operates like a clock. And when we are out of step with that, when this heart is out of step with that, then you see the heart perceiving time moving faster and faster. This for me is a major sign of Akhiru Zaman. This one. And if the heart is not moving and beating in harmony with the system of time that Allah has created, what is the implication? The implication is, any engineer will tell you that. Noor pervades the entire universe. Allahu Noor as-samawati wal ard. There's Noor all over Allah's creation. But that Noor cannot enter in your heart when your heart is not beating in harmony with the rest of Allah's creation. And if Noor does not enter in the heart, all that you have here is a degree from Oxford, like the Prime Minister of Pakistan. All that you have is a PhD from Oxford. But Noor does not enter into the heart. Then you are internally blind. And if you are internally blind, forget it. You cannot understand the world in Akhiru Zaman. What is Akhiru Zaman?
End times.
The end time, very good. You cannot understand the world in Akhiru Zaman if you do not have Nur. But more than that, this verse of the Quran shakes us up. Allah says, Man kana fi hadhihi a'ama, fahuwa fil akhirati a'ama, wa adalla sabil. Whosoever is blind in this world will be blind in the other world as well, and even more misguided. And we do not want to face Allah on Judgment Day in that condition. No? It'll be pathetic, because it's straight to Jahannam. وَلَقَدْ ذَرَأْنَا لِجَهَنَّمَ كَثِيرًا مِنَ الْجِنِّ وَالْإِنسِ. Huge numbers into the hellfire. Why? They don't have nur. They have eyes and they can't see. They have ears, they can't hear. They have hearts and cannot use the rational faculty. أُولَئِكَ كَالْأَنْعَامِ. They're just like cattle. And so I say that this sign is a major sign of Akhiru Zaman. How do we get the heart to return, to beat once more in harmony with the rest of Allah's creation? This is why I like this small gathering, because I can take my time. I can lecture for 3-4 hours, no problem. In the masjid, I have to squeeze everything into 1 hour. Okay? So what do we do to bring the heart back? The answer is you have to get the heart to return to the moon. To return to the moon. To live with the moon. And when you live with the moon, because the moon is the heart of the system of time, وَيَسْأَلُونَكَ عَنِ الْأَهِلَّةِ قُلْ هِيَ مَوَاقِيتُ لِلنَّاسِ. That the moon is at the heart of the system of time. And to return to the moon means to return to the moon with the Quran. فَإِذَا قَرَأْنَاهُ فَاتَّبِعْ قُرْآنًا. This is first person plural, but allow me to use first person singular. And when I have recited the Quran, فَاتَّبِعْ قُرْآنًا, you must follow that way of recitation. Command. Command, yeah. If we recite the Quran the way Allah has recited it, meaning He sent Jibreel alayhi salam to do it. If we do that, then the heart will once more return to the natural state, Salimul Qalb. And you will no longer perceive time moving faster and faster. I am talking from personal experience. When I was younger, yes, I felt time moving faster and faster. Or when I recited the Quran this way, completing the whole Quran every month, from cover to cover, I no longer perceive time moving faster. Yeah. I am the proof. You can do it. So if I don't want to ask you to raise your hands, no, not tonight. But if I come back to Birmingham, I'll ask you, do you perceive time moving faster? And that means you're not reciting the Quran. I'm writing this book now. It's almost finished. The Quran and the Moon, methodology for recitation of the Quran. It's almost finished now. And in this book we are teaching you the first juz is Surah Al-Baqarah. The whole surah, that's the first juz. Whoever it was who cut the surah at 141 and said this is the first juz, he had no authority to do that. And then he chopped the surah a second time at 252. And he said this is the second juz. He had no authority to do that. No. And Allah has condemned it. Let me give you this passage of Surah Al-Hijr to wake you up. Because every copy of the Quran, now anywhere in the world you pick up, you see that. The Iranian, the word used in India and Pakistan, Iran is sipara. But the Arabs use the word juz, and plural of juz, ajza. So the first juz, anywhere in the world you go, the first juz is up to Surah Al-Baqarah, verse 141. Anywhere you go. And the second juz is Surah Al-Baqarah until 252. Yes. And Allah has prohibited this. وَقُلْ إِنِّي أَنَا النَّذِيرُ الْمُبِينُ. Tell them, O Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam, I am indeed a warner. And when I warn in a way which is plain and clear, no ambiguity. Mubin. What is the warning? كما أنزلنا على المقتسمين. This warning is to be delivered from me. I am sending it down. And this warning is to be delivered to some people known as the Muqtasimin. Who are they? The Quran tells us who they are. الَّذِينَ جَعَلُوا الْقُرْآنَ عِدِّينَ. They are those who divide the Quran arbitrarily. They cut it up without authority for doing that. He, Allah, is the one who divided. فَرَقْنَاهُ قُرْآنًا فَرَقْنَاهُ لِتَقْرَأَهُ عَلَى النَّاسِ عَلَى مُكْثٍ. So Allah divided the Quran. We cannot divide it. And then came the next ayah. The next ayah is shaking. فَوَرَبِّكَ. He's talking to Nabi Muhammad. I swear by your Lord, O Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam, by your Rabb, فَوَرَبِّكَ لَنَسْأَلَنَّهُمْ أَجْمَعِينَ بِمَا كَانُوا يَعْمَلُونَ. I am going to question every single one of them for what they have done to this Quran. Every single one of them will have to answer to me. It shakes you. So no, when we recite the Quran, the first juz, we recite the whole of Surah Al-Baqarah. Not me, I am not going to cut it at all. I don't have the time to take you all through the Quran tonight. But I'm writing this book, inshallah it should be finished soon. And this book will correct the mistakes we are making. And if you recite the Quran this way, the British have an expression. The test of the pudding is in the eating. It's a British expression. So if you recite the Quran this way, month after month, and then you no longer have the perception that time is moving faster and faster. It validates that this is correct, this is correct. And so, when we come to Akhirul Zaman, although these are the 10 that are mentioned, I say these are not the only ones which are major signs. Number one, and they are not given in the order in which they will occur. There is a big word in English, chronological order, in order in time. We do not know the order in which these signs will occur, but we can use our reasoning faculty. And the first one, therefore, mentioned is Dajjal, Al-Masihud Dajjal. And the second is Gog and Magog, Ya'juj and Ma'juj. And the third is the return of Nabi Isa, alayhi salam, the son of Mary. And number 4 is Dukhan, or smoke. And number 5 is Dabbatul Ard, or the beast or the creature of the earth. And number 6, that the sun would rise from the west. And number 7, 8, and 9, 3 earthquakes. But these are earthquakes in which the earth will sink down and swallow what it swallows. And this is known as a khas. And the plural of khas is khusuf. One in the east, one in the west, and one in Arabia. And number 10 is that the fire will come out of Yemen. And that fire will drive people to their place of assembly for judgment. I like this one very much. I gather the Saudi regime doesn't like this one at all. A fire will come out of Yemen and drive people to their place of assembly. Now then, we have to determine which of these are muhkam and which are mutashabiha. And there is no law, there is no book. You have to use your thinking process. Which one is to be understood literally and which one has to be interpreted in order to be understood? Let us begin with the sun rising from the west. This is the easiest one of all. Will the sun literally rise from the west one day? Or is this to be understood as mutashabiha, therefore to be interpreted? This is the question. Who will answer that question? Anytime you're looking for knowledge, the first place to search is in the Quran. That's right, the Quran. You can't go wrong. And in the Quran, what does Allah say? He says that the sun rises from the east. Yes? And Ibrahim alayhi salam then asked the king, why don't you cause it to rise from the west? My Lord causes the sun to rise from the east. You couldn't get a plainer statement than that. Why don't you cause it to rise from the west? So from this verse of the Quran, we know that the western sunrise is a false sunrise. And therefore this is mutashabiha. The sun rising from the west is a false sunrise. It is a sunrise that will attempt to replace the truth. To replace the truth which has come from Allah. And if I ask you, how old are you? I believe every single one of you will give me your date of birth and your age in accordance with the sun. I was born on the 10th of January. I was born on the 16th of April. And by that I am 30 years of age, I'm 35, I'm 40. Every single one. And you do that because the false sunrise has taken over from you. The false sunrise. When Allah says in the Quran that you must count the years by the moon, لِتَعْلَمُوا عَدَدَ السِّنِينَ وَالْحِسَابِ. So you should not be counting the years by the sun, you should be counting the years by the moon. Anyone differs with me? When the truth came to Makkah, Makkah rejected it. Because when you depart from the system of time that Allah has given, it affects the heart. Yes, it affects the heart. What Makkah did was, they wanted the lunar year to synchronize with the solar year. So and they remain with 12 months. Allah gave 12 months, so this year we stay with 12 months for 1 year. But every third year they would add an extra month so that the lunar year would synchronize with the solar year. And you know what Allah said about that? He said that is the road to increasing kufr, not just kufr. إِنَّمَا النَّسِيُّ زِيَادَةٌ لِلْكُفْرِ. Playing around with time like this and corrupting it. And so only the young people in Mecca, the young ones, accepted Islam. The slaves accepted Islam. But the barons and the lords of Mecca, they rejected. Because their hearts were corrupted. And guess what this false sunrise has done? You'll be surprised if I tell you. The false sunrise has told us that yes, a year is comprised of 12 months. But now a month has nothing to do with the moon. A month can have either 31 days, or 30 days, or 29 days, or 28 days. Did you know that? Were you aware of that? And guess what happened when we accept that? And we abandon the moon. إِنَّمَا النَّسِيُّ زِيَادَةٌ لِلْكُفْرِ. When we abandon that Allah has given, and we embrace the false sunrise, we are damaging our hearts. This is the false sunrise.